Hello everybody. So I should have be going on vacation today, but my flight has been cancelled because of the volcanic activity in Iceland. So I decided to make another video instead. One of the viewers of this channel told me that she particularly enjoyed the videos about conversational connectors and being able to use them. She lives in the Czech Republic actually and lived here for many years. But she said this is something new to her and she's actually been able to use them quite well, and would I make more videos about these connectors. So I thought today I'd talk about disagreeing and agreeing. Now, when we're having conversations with people, sometimes they make a point and we can say, I don't agree with that at all. Something quite blunt, or, well, I think you're right. Now these are a bit blunt, but other times our agreeing and disagreeing is much simpler. We just say yes or no, yes, no, yes, no. So in Czech, of course, if you know anything about Czech, ano means yes and ne means no. And just this week I had workmen in my house doing some repairs to the building, and I listened actually to the conversations we had together and noticed that we never once said ano and ne. Never, even though they were here for 3 days. It was always a different way of agreeing or disagreeing with something. Now, sometimes that would have been simply to say which is an agreement, of course. And that's quite common in Czech. Or they used, even though I didn't know these people, a more slang version. They would say no, no, and ja, ja. And by the way, no, very interestingly, doesn't mean no. In Czech it means yes. No means yes. That's one of the jokes people say about Czech. And ja means yes. These are both slang ways of saying yeah, 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 yeah. If you want to say no, people, at least in Prague, say ne in a long way with emphasis. Ne, like a long E. So instead of saying ne, you go ne. And instead of saying ano, people go no, yo, no, yo. Or sometimes just And that's very encouraging because it tells the person that you've heard what they've said, and you'll even know if they say, I don't like the weather today, and you go, nah, nah, that means that you don't like it. So it's also a form of agreement, and this is essential in conversations rather than just remaining silent. But it goes beyond that. There are many other ways of doing agreeing and disagreeing, and a few of these I've mentioned maybe earlier on some of the videos, but I'll show some of them here. And these are quite common ones in Czech. So the first one, na 100%, means 100%. Yeah, 100%. So you'd say, no, na 100%, which means, yeah, I agree 100%. Or bez debat, bez debat. This means without question. No, na 100%, bez debat. Yes, 100% without question. I was really agreeing with somebody. And bez pochyby means without doubt. So one of the workmen, when he was here, it rained on the third day, and I said, is this definitely going to be the last day? And he went, no, bez pochyby, not yes, without doubt. And přesně tak, I've mentioned before, means absolutely so, or exactly right, I mean certainly. So přesně tak. So when somebody makes a statement and you really agree with it, you go, no, přesně tak, no, no. So these are quite idiomatic. Na 100%, bez debat, no, bez debat, no, bez pochyby, přesně tak, yeah. And then more conversational still, when you want to tell the person explicitly that you agree with them or disagree with them, you can say naprosto, that means absolutely, souhlasím, I agree, no, naprosto souhlasím. Or you can say with you, s vámi, s is with vámi, means with you. So, naprosto s vámi souhlasím. I absolutely agree with you. No, naprosto s vámi souhlasím. Okay. And to je sice pravda. That is absolutely right. That's right, in fact. To je sice pravda. Pravda. And, okay, this one is maybe a bit formal, but, okay, jsem téhož, it's quite complicated, this one, mínění jako vy. I am of the same view or opinion like you or as you. Jsem téhož mínění jako vy. So maybe a bit formal, but you could use that. But for all of these, you can elaborate on them by saying therefore, takže, therefore. So, no, naprosto s vámi souhlasím, takže, therefore, já musím říct, I must say, že, that, so, takže. So these are all sort of pregnant, waiting for connectors on the end of them to add them onto something else to be elaborated. So takže, or protože, because, no. So naprosto s vámi souhlasím, protože, because something else. But you can also use these as in a gentle form of disagreement. So you could say, that's true, but, ale means but, or I agree with you, naprosto souhlasím s vámi, ale, but, and then you can say, I agree with you, but I also don't think we should You can also add to that, jen do určité míry, only to a certain point. No, only to a certain point, only up to a point. So I absolutely agree with you, or that is true, or I'm of the same opinion as you, but only up to a certain point. You see? So that's it, I think, for disagreeing and agreeing. There are many more of these on my website, of course, and I have 100 or more of these just for agreeing and disagreeing on my own lists, but you should really make your own lists. And now that takes us to, here's my current list of 12 categories of connectors, conversational connectors that keep conversations going. So opening, closing, qualifying, filling, we have done in previous videos, and now we've just done disagreeing or agreeing. And still to come, I keep changing the categories around. So at the moment I have, I think, 12. On the website there are maybe 10, but it's still stabilizing. So I've got still apologizing, I'm sorry, but, asserting, I know for a fact that kind of thing, elaborating, and now that I think about it, I'd like to say a little bit more, that kind of thing. Emoting, this really upsets me. I'm afraid to say that kind of thing. Passing, which means you want to hand over the conversational baton. And what do you think about that? I'd really like to know your opinion, that kind of thing. Switching, now that I think about it, I really should talk about, or before we forget, let's talk about. So you're switching to a different topic. And then recalling things like, I'd forgotten to say, but looking back on it, so this is saying things from the past. And now that I think about it, that kind of thing. So more of those to come in later videos. Thank you very much. Hope it's helpful.